Welcome to the 30th and final round of WTSS Season 7. For the first time ever, we take on the 1.5 mile high banks of the Twin Ring Motegi in Japan. This high-speed, high-action speedway all the way across the Pacific Ocean is going to play host to the closest championship battle in WTSS history. We enter this round with 6 drivers who have a shot at the championship, the most in the entire WTSS timeline to this point in all 7 seasons to date. Yuki Tamura enters her home race in front of her home crowd with a special home livery, with a chance at the ultimate storyline to win her first title on home soil. Chris Louviere, very close behind in second place, has made a bit of a specialty on these big ovals this season and has the best average finish on this type of track out of everybody in the field. Ryan Reed is in third, slightly further back. He led the championship for over half of the year. He would love to regain it back one last time with a strong performance here in Motegi. Now we get to the long shots. Jeff McLennan, the rookie, trying to become the second ever rookie champion in WTSS history. It's a distant long shot, but it's there nonetheless. If trouble happens to those ahead, you could see this Maverick rookie prevailing against even all of the rookie mistakes he's made this season. Tristan Wilhoit is the only driver that enters this finale with a chance at a second championship, which would set the record for the most crowns in WTSS history. It's the 4th time in 7 seasons he's entered a season finale with a chance at the title. Could he have 2 for 4 on his resume? He would need the stars to align, though, for him to get it. And finally, the farthest back, the one with the least chance, but the biggest heart of them all, Jake Stavanaugh, a driver who entered this season with his job on the line after multiple seasons where there could have been more from the driver of the, at the time, Reed Family Racing 98, now the driver of the Roush Racing Enterprises number 80. And a driver who has blown everybody's expectations out of the water this year, still enters with a mathematical chance. 3 main title rivals, 3 long shots behind them. 10 minutes begin for qualifying at Twin Ring Motegi now. The most important session on the season, and just like we've seen on numerous ovals this season, Mitchell Mark is straight out onto the racetrack. A driver who, for a while there, almost seemed like he had a shot at this title, but it just seemed like he fell away as we entered the European Tour with all of those road courses in his path. The 28 team have not had a strong showing on any tracks that have right-hand corners. Down the back straightaway we go to begin what will be the first timed lap of this 10-minute group qualifying session. And you got to think, you got to get out quickly, because look at that. Mark was immediately out of his pit box, and he is already lost an entire minute to this session. He crosses the line to start his first lap at 9 minutes and 4 seconds left in the session. Now we want to give you the best possible coverage to show the battle for pole position in this event, but there will be a lot of focus being put on those 6 title rivals in this qualifying session to see where they are at any given moment. You may see some times pop up on the board in the 50-second bracket. Those are people that crossed start-finish line through the pit lane heading to their outlaps. Those are not representative lap times, but what Mitchell Mark puts down here will be the first time and the benchmark for everybody else to beat. It's a 35.933, which will almost certainly be beaten by the next driver to come through. Not sure who that's going to be, but I have a feeling, I think it's the 50 of Ray Takeda. No, it's not, actually. It is Figueroa and Shrimp Anger. It's Figueroa to the top of the board, 35.829. Who will be the first of our title contenders to come across start-finish and begin their qualifying? It's Jake Stavanaugh with a 36.37, 7/10 off of Mitchell Mark's 35.64 that he just put down. You want to talk about title rivals? Roush Racing Enterprises do not look like they are in much of a hurry. Ryan Reed is still in his pit stall, as is Yuki Tamura, who's just now coming out onto the racetrack. That sparking local business car. partnership between local Japan businesses and Golden Spark Energy. $1,000 donated to local business Japan for every overtake Yuki Tamura completes in the entire 100 laps here at Twin Ring Motegi. Where are we at? Daniel Giroux is quickest in the 2-car. For Ditech Van Dalen, Jake Stavina is 6th fastest with a 35.70 at the moment. Chris Louviere with a 36.20, but he's in a bit of traffic with Alex Bignacco there. Ryan Reed beginning his time session. Tristan Wilhoit is 26th with a 35.98. He'll need more than that. Yuki Tamura begins her time session as well. And an engine problem for Ryan Bolden in the 7 car. He's going to limp back to the pit lane. He just set the 5th fastest time coming across start-finish milliseconds before that engine started to let go, which would be one of his best qualifyings of the season, but unfortunately he won't be able to go any further than that. And in the statistical worst season of his WTSS career, Ryan Bolden has an engine problem in qualifying. Ryan Reed, his first time lap is the slowest lap of them all, but that's cold tires. Another engine failure. It's Alex Bignacco in the 29. And that's a more significant engine failure than that of the Ryan Bolden machine, and he's going to have to really try to be careful getting across traffic here. Aiden Shepard coming along, has to completely bail out of whatever lap he's on. And that could play traffic, and could play a factor for those title contenders or out on the racetrack. McLennan, 13th quickest in traffic behind the 77 of Patrick Smith. What do we got going elsewhere? Will Hoyt is 27th fastest. Ryan Reed is 39th still, but he's still getting up to speed. Same with Yuki Tamura, 29th at the moment. How about now, across start finish, Will Hoyt doesn't improve, but Reed does to only 36th, and Tamura is 23rd. Most of our title rivals not looking like they've got great qualifying pace, but that could just be a race pace setup building up speed as the tires get more temperature. 15th fastest for Chris Louviere. Currently is the 2nd fastest of the title contenders. The biggest long shot of them all, Jake Stavina, is actually the one with the highest qualifying position right now in the 5th spot. You only get bonus points for qualifying in the top 3. Stavina, the gap that he has requires him to score at least 1 bonus point throughout the weekend, whether it be a lap led or qualifying bonus. It has to be a bonus point regardless, otherwise he cannot win the championship. So qualifying up towards the front is exactly what he would need to maximize his scenario. But even then, it's still such a large gap. Louviere improves again, but stays 15th. McLennan, 13th fastest. Ryan Reed, still only good enough for 30th. Will Hoyt is 34th. Tamura has improved to 19th place, so she joins her fellow title rivals in the teens, or at least a majority of them. I almost feel like there's some gamesmanship going on amongst these title contenders. They're not really showing their full hand in this session. This is going to be a race where the draft is what matters. Very much so. McLennan improves to 11th fastest with a 35.50. Final 3 minutes. Mitchell Marcus still quickest in the 28 car, ahead of Patrick Smith and Daniel Giroux. But there is still more time to be made out there, I have a feeling. Though a 35.21 may be not a time that can be beaten amongst the people that are currently out there. There are some people coming into the pits for fresh tires, including title contender Tristan Wilhoit. The question of if he can get back out on the racetrack in time to be able to set a representative time with a new set of tires is the question of the hour right now for that 17 team. Stavinoff still 6th, the highest of the title contenders. McLennan 11th. Ryan Bolden has rejoined the racetrack with a fresh motor, it looks like. Or maybe they tried to repair the existing damage on his already wounded motor. I don't know. We'll have to find out here in a moment. 2 minutes remain in this 10-minute session here at Twin Ring Motegi. It's looking unlikely that any of the title contenders are going to earn themselves some qualifying bonus points. And then that will make it a real dogfight throughout the entire field. Throughout the entire race from these guys. Will Hoyt is going to get back out onto the track and have a fresh set of tires underneath of him to try and improve further from a 35.73 that leaves him 35th fastest. The big ovals have not been the strong suit for a majority of Maverick Motorsports. The one exception being their oval specialist, Chris Louviere. Mitchell Mark is still quickest, but he has not 100% gotten it yet until that time has expired. Down the back straightaway. Drivers in tow of each other. Where is Tristan Wilhoit? Has he ended up in traffic? Will he get a clean run on a fresh set? He's not in traffic per se. He sets a new best time already with a 35.71. The question being, is he going to get held up? Is he too close behind the 46 to be able to get the full benefit of those tires? Time will expire shortly. If you haven't set a new best time, if you haven't started a lap by the time the clock runs out, you won't get to set another one. But if you get across the line, you'll get one more chance in standby to go through and try to set a time. Time expires. Dodd begins the drivers who have not set a time. 14th for Will Hoyt at the last gasp. Jumps up into the top 15 at the dying moments of the session. Scott Roush goes 10th quickest at the end. Alex Bignacco finds 23rd after that engine replacement mid-session. Are there any other improvements out there? Time's expiring in 1 second across the line.
Mark,
I
think Mark has problems. Let's
and Mitchell Mark has just blown an engine directly after winning the pole. It's not going to matter, but the 28 barely hung on to those cylinders. Wow. Unreal. He should be very thankful that happened at the end of qualifying rather than the first lap of the race. He will still get to keep that pole position, of course. It's Mitchell Mark ahead of Patrick Smith, Daniel Giroux, Eugene DeMax, and Sean Angel, the top 5. Highest qualifying title contender, Jake Stavinoff in 6th. He's going to need it. Being the highest qualifier of the title contenders, he needs to get up there and lead a lap, at least, to keep himself in it. Finn Guy, Vita Bassa, Nugroho, and Roush, the top 10. Then it's Nutt, Stevens, Jeff McLennan in 13th, Krasta, and Tristan Wilhoit in 15th. Then it's Van Dalen, Bolden, Takeda, Constantine, Biscelli at the top 20. Carter, Chris Louviere 22nd. Bignacco, Frazier, Yuki Tamura 25th. Innes, Crown Jr., Hill, Teskar, Figueroa the top 30. Ryan Reed 31st. Curtis, Dodd, Engritz, Voiles, Duncan, Ji-Yon, Wangzawat, Gibson, and Aiden Shepard rounding out the 40-car field in this qualifying session at Twin Ring Motegi. Mitchell Mark is on pole. We have a jumbled qualifying order for the 6 title contenders, and it's going to be really interesting to see who showed their hand and who didn't in that 10-minute session. Enough said, there's only one thing left to do, and that's crown a champion in WTSS Season 7 Let's get to the race.